Hi, I'm Kirk Freeman with learningthebasics.info. Today we're using the ASSE one-hose test procedure to certify this DC backflow preventer. The first thing we do when we arrive at the job site is inform management that they will be without water for the duration of the test. Second, we identify that this is the device that we're assigned to certify, using a serial number, the maker of the device, and the model of the device. Third, we do a visual inspection of the device for any leaks, cracks, missing parts. Then we determine if this assembly is ready to be tested. It has 2 approved shutoff valves. The test cocks 1, 2, 3, and 4 have installed the proper test gauge adapters. If your device you are certifying does not have these adapters, you will have to install them to use your gauge. This one looks like it's set up for testing, so let's get started with the test. First thing we do is we flush our test cocks, starting with test cock 4. Open, flush. This one we'll leave trickle. Test cock 3. Open, flush, fully close. Test cock 2. Open, flush, fully close. Test cock 1. Open, flush, fully close. We go back to test cock 4 and fully close it. Now we're ready to attach our test gauge. Sure, our high bleed valve is open. Go to test cock 2, open to a trickle, attach our high test hose. The gauge starts going up and bleeding out the air. You don't want any air in your gauge, give you a false reading. You do not want your gauge to slam. That could damage your gauge. So we slowly bring the gauge to 15, and then we fully open up test cock 2. With a good steady string, no air, we close our high bleed valve. Now we're ready to test the device. We have to isolate the device first. Go to test cock 3. We will slowly open test cock 3. When the water stops flowing, we read our gauge. Fully open test cock before you take your reading. It's at 3.8, higher than 1, check valve 1 passes. To return the device back to a static condition, we close test cock 3. We close test cock 2, release the pressure in our gauge, slowly pressurize the system, and remove your high test hose. Test check valve 2. We go to test cock 3. Trickle it. Attach our high test hose. The gauge starts going up, bleeding out the air. Once again, air in the gauge will give you a false reading. We do not. We slowly increase until we're at 15. Then we fully open test cock 3. Getting a good solid string with no air, we close our high bleed valve. Again, we isolate this device for testing. Go to test cock 4. Slowly open it. When the water stops flowing, read our gauge. Fully open. It offs 3.8. Higher than 1, check valve 2 passes. Return the device back to static. We close test cock 4. Close test cock 3. Relieve the pressure in our gauge. Slowly pressurize the device. And then when we go to return service, we slowly pressurize customer system. When it is fully pressurized, we open the valve all the way. Remove our high test hose. Our paperwork would show check valve 1 passes, check valve 2 passes. I would certify this DC backflow preventer in operational and put it back in service.